Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Lady Calamere. This will be my 75th video and I am going to be doing it on Gayatri. I will not be doing the recitations, like 108 recitations of the mantra. I will be discussing about the goddess herself, her story, and some of the things about her mantras. So let's delve into this goddess, shall we? Gayatri. Her name, let's look at her name. Gaya means the singing of wisdom, and tree means three. Who are the three wisdoms? She is Mahasarasvati with Mahalakshmi and Mahakali, the three wisdoms. Others like to say it's Sarasvati, Lakshmi, and Parvati. I used to go to the temple in the Divya Dham. There was a statue, and they were the great aspects of Sarasvati, Lakshmi, and Kali to make the great goddess. And as you can see, she has the 5 faces, and they have meaning. And traditionally, her 5 faces are these colors. They are the colors of pearl, red coral, gold, sapphire, and a diamond. Gayatri faces are 5. It says the air, fire, water, earth, and spirit, the 5 elements. But it's also the 4 faces, 1 for each book of the Vedas, and 1 for the face of the divine. She is all feminine, but she carries the weapons and the implements and tools of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Therefore, she is life, preservation, and destruction, as well as birth, nurturing, and death. She is the wisdom of that. However, she is a meter in the Vedas. She is a great mantra. And this mantra can be chanted by all. It is said, oh, a woman shouldn't be saying this. It's not true. Not true. The thing is that a pregnant woman should not be reciting it. For that the energy is too great for the baby inside her. That is what is said. Doesn't mean you can't listen to it. Doesn't mean you can't say once or twice or 3 times. However, that is advised. The Gayatri, and the best way I could describe this, and I know some of my pagan friends are going to choke me out for saying this, from St. John the Divine. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and God was the Word. Comes from something older. So don't choke me out. The Vedas, the words, the Sanskrit mantras have great power indeed. These words can influence us. These words and sounds, everything is made from a vibration of sound. We know that material is all solidified energy. We know this. The words are energy. So, in this aspect, Gayatri, the great goddess, is that energy. She is said to be as if the form of Adi Shakti has taken form. Adi Shakti, the great goddess. Mahashakti, Mahadevi. As you can see, she has the light forms and she has her dark forms. She has the light faces of light and the dark, and she has the power of Chandra, the moon, the crescent on her head. The head, the soma, and the high crown of her royalty. She sits upon the pink lotus, which should be red, and that represents, like, for her, material. And here we see the swan of Brahma, but also that of Sarasvati. Gayatri Mantra is very powerful, very illuminating. Shadow has been sick, and he looked like he almost died. I got him on antibiotics, and I told Gayatri, as long as he lives, I will do your mantra. He looked like he was near death. I thought I was going to put him down. I was crying so hard. Please, please don't let him die. He's so special to me. I know he's 17 and a half years old. Not ready to lose him. He's now walking around, eating. He wasn't eating for like a day almost. He was throwing up all over the place. He threw up bile. This cat was just not walking. He was stiff. He wasn't dead, but he was stiff, and his eyes were dilated, and his breathing was off. He's got the end. Now he started feeling better, and I got him on the antibiotics, and he's eating, and he's holding it in, and he's drinking. And he's starting to be a pain in the butt. So I know he's doing good. So I just want to let you know our wonderful shadow is doing good. So, and she has there are different mantras that are to her. Some of them are long form, some of them are short. So, and I noticed some people do say her mantra wrong. Like with the, okay, if you look at the word B-H-U-R, people pronounce it as boor. Like in boar, boy, boycott. No, the B should not be pronounced that way. The B, like in boor, Swaha. See how soft I said it? Like the word abhor. 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 The B should be soft in Sanskrit. Now, we go to, if we look at Swaha, people say tat, like in toy, Tom, tiger. Wrong. The ta should be a soft T like that, then this, they. So we go to Swaha, Savitor, Verinyam. You want to elongate that one. Verinyam, Margo Devasya, Himahinio, Yona, Parchodayat. I'm just saying it the way, like a song, but the people pronounce the D Mahi. Like, see how I said that wrong? Because they pronounce the DH as in dog, day. It should be, no, it should be a very soft, like airy. Like a lot of air in it. So, so, see, we also have a longer one, so I'm going to do the longer one for you. Swaha, Swaha, Maha, Jana, Satyam, Sat, Savitur, Varinyam, Vargo Devasya, Nimahi, Yona Prachodayat. And that long one That long one I said means all self-effulgent light that has given birth to all the worlds, the lokas, the consciousness, who is worthy of worship and appears through the orbit of the sun, Surya, illumine our intellect. So if we look at Om, we have the earth plane. Om, we have the atmospheric plane. So, okay, so this one corresponds to the chakras. Om, the first chakra, okay, the earth plane. So the next one, Om, atmospheric plane. Om, Swaha. That is our third chakra. Okay, so the first, second, and third. Om, So here we go to the heart vibration, the fourth chakra. Om, we have the fifth chakra. We have the fifth. Now that is within, above the heart and the throat. Then we go to Om Tapaha. This is the third spiritual. This is the spiritual world beyond the sun. The spheres of the progenitors, the creators, the realm of the highest spiritual understanding, while still in existence, individual existence. So then you go to Om Saryam, which is the abode of the supreme, the truth, the beyond Maya, the absorption into the divine, the supreme, the sacred. Om Tat Savitor Varinyam. That realm which is of true, beyond Maya, which is beyond human comprehension. Tat, like Tat, is what they call another word for God, as in that. In that place where all the celestials, all the divine divinities of all the spheres have received enlightenment, to receive enlightenment, kindly enlighten or gently enlighten our intellect. So we have a shorter form, which that's a long form, which is, like I said before, Om Swaha Om Savitor Varinyam Margo Devasya Dimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. I know my voice is thick, and I've had a stressful day. The cats drove me nuts. Worrying about Shadow. He hates having the antibiotic shoved down his throat. And honestly, I hate giving it to him because I'm allergic to penicillin. And that's the antibiotic I got. So when I get it on me, I get all itchy. I have to wash it off. And especially love it when he spits it in my face. Just gotta love that. And I'm severely allergic to penicillin. But this is going to clear him. This is going to cure him. Fine. I'll deal with it. Gayatri. I'm going to look at things today in a spiritual way. And I realize how much I love them. I really, really realize how much sometimes I take my cats for granted. And then when the mortality hits, I'm like, oh my God, please don't let him die. Take me instead. You know, that's how much I love him. And I wish I could do more for him. And no, I'm not passing the hat out for money. I don't do that. I don't have a Patreon account. So, so anyways, now let's go on to different things that she does, Gayatri. As you can see, this is her fear not mantra, mudra, sorry. But she also has a hand, sometimes nothing in it, and her hand is like that. That's her boon giving. but you can see she's holding different sacred implements. And she is very powerful. She is very beautiful. She is effulgent. She is magnificent as 1,000 suns. So she's also an aspect of Savita, from which Savitur is derived, which is another name of God. So this being the power, the reason that the Gayatri Mantra is also known as the Savitri Mantra, but it's also called the Maha Mantra and Mula Mantra. And let me tell you something, in the Vedas, Vedically, this is the most powerful mantra to know. This will give you grace. It will help you enlightenment. It will help unload burdens, karma. It will help more towards not having to be reborn. It's a very powerful mantra, thousands and thousands of years old, chanted by millions and millions and millions of people. Millions upon millions. By the saint, by the sinner, by the rich, by the poor, by the healthy, by the infirm, by the young, by the old, by men and by women. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just think about that. It's a very powerful protection. You have bad spirits in your home, you pray this. You feel sick, you pray this. It is actually a morning mantra. In the morning, not like sad, but in the morning. But you can do it, it's even suggested to do morning, noon, night. Some of the best times, if like say if you can't sleep, it's 4 in the morning, do a few rounds. You don't have to do 108. You could do 6, 9, 10, 12. If you want to do it, 500. Hey. Or like right around 2 hours before the rising of the sun, to the rising of sun, or in morning time. So the Gayatri Mantra is the Savitri Mantra, the Mula Mantra, the Maha Mantra. It's the implication of Savita is goddess's status as a fountain, the source of all things, but also a source of illumination and enlightenment. It is through the divine grace that comes as mother that the universe exists. So this describes Savitur. There's so much to this. Like the Savitur is by describing goddess's ability to create the universe, to preserve it, and as well as the right time to bring about its dissolution. So like I said, she has a power, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Ah, I know you want stories. And stories I shall give you. Did you know Brahma took a second wife? His first wife was Sarasvati. But there's a reason why he took a second wife. But this whole thing was planned by Sarasvati. Whole plan for the reason for things to become, to be created. So Brahma wanted to do an important fire sacrifice known as a yajna. It's spelled different than what it's pronounced. It's a fire ritual. Brahma, to become the grandfather. Brahma is in, as you can see, he's in the background there. I put my statue of Brahma there. You see him? So his wife who more into learning and stuff, and she's sometimes late or she could be fashionably late for things, or just in time, but in the nick of time of things. So he wants to do a sacrifice, a fire sacrifice, because of the planets and the stars are in the right position. He told Sarasvati what he wants to do, so she was getting dressed. And he gets to the place, and he sees that, there's vessels of gold there, vessels of silver, and beautiful incense, the smell, beautiful flowers, and flowers of every color and size. And the priests, the punjaris, are scurrying about, and everything is perfect, but Sarasvati's not there. She's busy getting dressed. So, of course, he complimented everybody. Of course, well, we saw to your every detail, Brahma, Lord Brahma, replied one of the priests. It isn't every day that we are presented with such an honor and this wonderful opportunity to do this yajna. And that you, for this special event, everything's perfect, but Sarasvati's not there. Brahma was asking, where is Sarasvati? Well, they said she has not arrived yet. I just heard a crash. It was one of my cats, I bet. So he asked, so they asked people to go find where Sarasvati. Sarasvati was still getting dressed. So they kind of went to Sarasvati, Mother, Divine Mother. The moment for the ritual is getting closer. Brahma is requesting your presence. She said, oh, there's plenty of time. She's still getting dressed. So one of the priests came back to Brahma and says, Sarasvati is not ready yet. She said there's plenty of time. So Brahma was kind of upset. So he told Indra, Sarasvati is holding me up. He told her, he said, I need a wife for this ritual to sit beside me. So he told Indra to go quickly and find someone, a woman, a beautiful woman. So Indra, kind of astonished, was like, oh, okay. So he went across the countryside. He looked and he looked and he searched and he searched. And there he spied a beautiful milkmaid, and her name was Gayatri. She was just finishing up her chores. Indra came to her, and he says, Brahma has requested your presence at this great ceremony. You must come now. She said, excuse me, but you must have me confused with someone else. I'm just a milkmaid. I'm a humble milkmaid woman. By the way, isn't Brahma married to the great mother, Sarasvati, the great goddess? And I have never been introduced to Brahma. How can be in anyone importance? How can I be married to such, a great being? And Indra said, no, there is no mistake. He grabbed her by the hand and began pulling her towards where the yagna beheld. He said, you have been chosen. So she stumbled along after him, and Gayatri said, why should I be so quickly invited and be brought to this great ceremony and married to someone who I've never met? You're to be wed to Brahma himself. So they brought her to the yagna. She was nervous, and she was saying, isn't he married? I'm just humble. I'm just little old me. And she was told that she has been selected because Sarasvati has not arrived in a timely fashion for this optimum astrological important time that's about to arrive. The stars and planets and is not going to sit and wait. Time waits for no one. So Brahma saw her and told Indra, "You have done well. You have chosen a beautiful woman to become my bride." And he told Gayatri, "Come, beautiful one. We will have the shortest of marriage vows and commence with the fire ceremony." And he was like, whatever, 10 days, 10 minutes. What's the difference the marriage ceremony is going to be? So with that, he called the priests, and they quickly did a makeshift, almost like a shotgun wedding in that saying. So they got married. They said their vows. Brahma takes his new bride and has them sit down. But guess who just happened to arrive in full, beautiful, ritual, ceremonial attire? Why, it was his wife, Sarasvati. And she's there, and there she sits, sees her husband sitting with a beautiful woman. And she was like, "Who is this? Who sits next to your side, oh dear husband Brahma?" And Brahma said, "Well, since you couldn't tear yourself away from your dressing room and getting dressed, and that pretty much you're late for this and you're late for that, and that you're late." And she says, "I am not late, I am on time." Well, she said, "And two of you got married?" She said, "Yes, it was done so quick." And he goes to Sarasvati, kind of insulting. He motioned her to take a place slightly behind him, opposite Gayatri. Sarasvati was angry. Her eyes glowed like Kali. And she said, "Oh, so you put a sinful intention to humiliate me, to shame me, that you would dare marry someone else because of this?" She said, "You stooped so low." And she said, "The planets are arriving or at just the right time, right?" And he says, "Yep, it's optimal time. And the stars are correct for just power." And she said, "Listen to me, then my curse will be even more powerful." And before she can even speak, Vishnu, of course, was like, she's ready to say that, but then Vishnu kind of said, "Oh, mistress of divine speech, he didn't seem to insult you. That wasn't on anyone's mind. She had to get a wife." And she screamed at Vishnu, "You defend him?" Then Shiva happened to not be meditating at this point, because he's attending this important fire ritual, and he kind of said, Sarasvati, both members of a divine union are a party to this. But you understand that you did not hurry, and that you have to take some of this responsibility. Sorry, but that's just the way it is." And she got angry at Shiva. Brahma was like, "Oh, forgive, Brahma was trying to soothe her. "I'll never trouble you in any other way. Please come and let's conclude with this wonderful ceremony." So Sarasvati curses him. She said that you shall not be honored in ceremonies from this day forward, and that only 1 day per year shall your status even be observed. She went after Indra. She cursed him that you found this woman. So one day you will become weak. You will be defeated, captured, and be brought to a strange place, and that you will need the help of deities, celestials, supernatural drinks, potions, herbs, in order to win the day. And then she went after Vishnu because of his shameful insult to her, your defense of this horrible action, and that she has pretty much cursed him to be born upon the earth and to lose his bride, and to also to have to find her, and also to live, you know, in the forest, and also take care of cows in a simple manner, living in a simple, you know, state. And then she, of course, went after Shiva. And you too, you'll lose your manhood. Yes, you're going to have to take a wife and cherish her and love her with great abandon. So only to basically lose her by her own actions, her own self. That was Sati. Sarasvati stormed off, and some of the women tried to follow her, but kind of went back because she had some words for them too. So in due time, all this has passed, and it all comes to happen. Interesting enough, after some time in the forest, Sarasvati and Gayatri pretty much bumped into each other, but rather than hatred and anger, they were laughing. And she said, "You have done, oh Gayatri, you have done well. Oh, my own emanation." So from this time, that Punjaris, monks, saints, and even householders alike will chant your mantra for enlightenment. So they hugged, and of course they merged. The two women merged together. So we see that this was a divine plan. So Gayatri, I gotta go see what they're doing. They're doing something horrible. I know they're doing something horrible. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. So Gayatri, as we see, she is the mantra, but she's also a goddess. She's also, now one of the things that she's also called is the she's the Veda Mata, mother of Vedas. Veda Mata, mother of Vedas. She bring on prosperity, as you see what she has. She brings on wisdom and knowledge, enlightenment. She teaches spirituality, the right way of being. And that doesn't necessarily mean that when we teach right way of being, it's not necessarily following the laws of the land. Sometimes the laws of the land could not be right. She teaches about the freedom of mind and spirit. And for those who need to be non-attachment to anything. It's just like this power of letting go. The power of letting go. To help you during times of anger and fear and resentment. She is a healer. Gayatri is a healer. Her mantra heals. Body, mind, and spirit she helps heal. Now again, if you are having a problem, seek the professional help, whether it's a doctor, a psychiatrist. Take your medicine as prescribed. But with that, you can use the Gayatri. And this is actually a beautiful one. It can be used to cleanse places of negative energies. negative attachments. Negativity, let's say you just got rid of a roommate or an ex, to clean up their negativity. Her mantra could be used to bless food, to bless a home, to bless an object, to bless the water that you drink. You could say the mantra 3 times over the water, even 5 times. Because of her 5 faces. As you see, she has 5 faces facing different directions, and that she has 10 arms. Two legs, and the moon. She wears the moon as an ornament, and the bright effulgent light of the sun, the spiritual sun behind her. And this one, she's dressed in red and in white. And this represents the sattvic qualities, the spiritual qualities. She teaches truth, and to one to look beyond Maya, and also helps one develop spiritual powers to unblock, and to also does that. The long form, the mantra is also used to cleanse out the chakras, unblock them, to if they're unstable, if they're flowing, some flowing too fast, some flowing too slow, or they're not flowing, if they're just like wobbling or something, it can stabilize this. Her mantra can stabilize your chakra. Gayatri, she in that form, she's different forms as a young lady. She represents, with her powers, you can see her weapons, even the weapons of war. She can also become the Brahmastra. She the mace, this axe is used to fight. She could use the chakras as a fighting implement. Yet she could bring cleansing, and with the conch, the sacred conch, with the water in, is used wherever that water touches, it cleanses the place. And she can blow onto it to really cleanse. She brings healing and immortality. She brings beauty and also spirituality, the Vedas. She holds it in her hand. The swan is the animal of Brahma, but also Sarasvati's mount. So she can help you see through illusion, to see through people's BS. A lot of people do not just chant the Gayatri, it's sung. May I suggest looking on YouTube, especially for like Deva Permel. Listen to the way she sings it. And you know the anyone ever watched Battlestar Galactica? We're talking about the remake on Sci-Fi with Edward James Olmos as Captain Adama, where Starbuck is actually a woman in this one. The opening scene, the credits, listen to that. That is the Gayatri Mantra being sung. The whole Gayatri. That is actually the Gayatri Mantra in the background. Gayatri is a very spiritual goddess. She can help you with your physical problems and your forms, like for problems. So if, you know, looking at Om, and some people say Om 5 times before they do the Gayatri, and respect to her 5 heads, the 4 Vedas, and the face of God, who is mother. God in the feminine form as mother. and of the 5 elements. So Om is the supreme name of divinity. Om. It's known as a Pranava Mantra. And it's the single most, when we see Om, we know exactly Hinduism. Om has said to have 100 meanings, and one of them means welcome to the God. So we see Om in that. So we look at war, B-H, or war. Remember abhorrent? Abhor. So if we look at this, war implies life, existence, to exist. The goddess is self-existence and independent of all, but lives within us. He, she, it, whether it's both male, female at the same time, female, male, or beyond what we know, is eternal, and without beginning, without end. It is continuous, permanent, constant entity. War also can mean the earth, the earthly plane, what we see now, even this earthly plane, on which we are born and sustained. There's actually a goddess called Bhumi, and she is the earth. Bhumi is the earth. War signifies prana, and life. And by the way, the 5 heads of Gayatri, thinking about this, is the 5 different types of prana. The 5 pranas is our 5 heads. So if we go into more of who she is, as we look at the word bhuva, bhuva. So bhuva is important. And we look at this word, which also, I should have wrote this down. So bhuva deals with our world, bhuva. The atmospheric plane, too, as well as the 2nd chakra. So, and then we go to the next word, Swaha. That's like an offering. Swaha is the wife of Agni. And like before, when we talk about bhuva, like the consciousness of deity, and now we offer it to the fire within ourselves, Swaha. Swaha will represent within us the solar region. The power of fire, or fire within ourselves, that eternal fire. Swaha makes the mantra sacred. So the next word we come into with this mantra is hot, hot, hot. Sorry, hot. Very soft tea. Like I said, it's not of Tony or Tom's, that thin. So it usually means that. That is used to describe the deity. It's like in it denotes in 3rd person. And it's also mentioned, is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita by Sri Krishna, Lord Krishna himself, where Krishna implies that the selfless nature of the word being used in the third person, that the word implicates that it has an idea of selflessness, egolessness, that is used here to indicate that the worshipper is referring to that deity, that god, that goddess, and the praise being offered to that god in the prayer. So bear with me. I know we're 45 minutes into this. We come into the next word, Savitur. Again, Savitur, very soft tea. And Savita, like I said, Savita is Savitur, which is derived from another name of deity, goddess, God, the divine, the supreme one. And this being that the Gayatri Mantra is known as the Savitri Mantra, like I said before. It is goddess's divine status as the fountain, the source of all enlightenment and attainment. It is through the divine grace that this universe exists, to birth, preservation, birth, nurturing, and death, creation, preservation, and at the right time, destruction, dissolution, the solution of all things. So we look at the next word, Verinyam. Verinyam it signifies our acceptance of this goddess, or as the divine. And it literally is who is worthy, ever ready to obtain all the material riches of the world. And also, most often, they are very disappointed once it has been achieved. But it is the divine, however, the divinity who is once realized and achieved, that we have the divinity within ourselves. We have the ability to be truly satisfied. Once we accept that, there is no part of me that is not of the gods. So therefore we accept him, her, as the highest reality. That we have this divinity within ourselves. We have Gayatri living within ourselves. We have this power. The deity, we breathe in the deity, we drink the deity, we see the deity as Maya and also beyond Maya. That she comes in as when we say Maha, there's a goddess Mahamaya, the great Maya, and Lalita that she likes to play. So then we have Vargo, which is to signify the glorious light. You see the light around her? Of the goddess's love and power, her complete purity, being absolutely pure herself, himself, itself, that this divine has just to purify those who come into contact with this. And this mantra, those who say it benefit, and just hearing it. If you play it from YouTube or you hear someone chanting it, it can affect the whole area. So, Vargo is indicative of the divine's power to purify, consecrate, to destroy all, in the Hindu terms of sin. I'm not talking about Christianity terms of sins, but Hindus, and affliction of negative powers. That by realizing the divine form, establishing unity and oneness with it, and be made pure by the divine's grace. The way fire purifies a metal when it's heated. Devasya. This is the word of Deva. The word is Deva, from which the word Deva, God, Devi, goddess, which the word is derived. And it's translated by different people in different ways. So, and it's simply thought to just be meaning of the divine. However, it could be more complex than that. Deva, like I said, Dev is the root form words of Devata, and Devi means she is, or she who is. Also means it's also dealing with quality and attribute, but it's also thought to be another word for the word guna. Sorry about the word So Devasha dealing with divinity. So the next word, Dimahi. Meaning to focus your mind on, to meditate. A meditation. To have this Gayatri in your mind implies that we remove all other thoughts from our mind. So sometimes these thoughts can render our mind impure, right? So to concentrate and conceptualize the most absolute purity of deity, we must be able to concentrate, meditate, and direct our mental energies towards a task, towards this mantra, to have communion with divinity, to be able to communicate. So when we look at the next one, Io very is for the mind and intellect and intelligence. It is the essence, part of the mantra of the Gayatri Mantra, having our goddess and God in our hearts, that we know we must emphasize his, her presence and influence and power in our mind, and the power of intellect to truly know. And so to have divine bliss, to not to suffer. So you have the word yo, which means who and that. And yo signifies that it is not to anyone else that we direct the prayers, but to Gayatri in this aspect of goddess, the supreme God who is being adored. And to be free from that the goddess is free from all defects of this world, whom we offer the prayers. So now we see the word na. Na means ours. Ours. O-U-R-S. Ours. Ours, as in signifies the selflessness of the request that we make of divinity in this part of the mantra. So we offer this prayer and make request of Goddess, not simply just for ourselves, but for, when we say ours, the whole of humanity, everyone, every man, woman, child. Matters not, friends. It matters not your sexual orientation or whether you're transgendered. Is for or ours, everyone, that we seek to uplift each other and the whole of society. So in the Hindu philosophy, which has since the beginning recognized the concept of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that the whole world is one big family. Now Hinduism, of course, is Sanatana Dharma, the eternal truth. Thus we pray for not for ourselves, but each other and every member of our great family. So now we're going to look at the last word, and I know I'm in 54 minutes into this video. Prachodayat. Prachodayat should be, I'm sorry, Prachodayat, very soft D. So sometimes I mess up, okay? I'm not perfect. So the final word of this Gayatri Mantra rounds off the whole mantra, rounds it off and completes the request we have made for this final part. This word is a request from Deity in which we ask for guidance, inspiration, illumination. We ask to be free. We ask that by showing the divine and glorious light, like the word going back to Vargo, that I kind of like had a little bit of a brain fart, to remove the darkness, the illusion, the seduction of Maya from our path, that we may be able to see the way, and in this matter we may ask that our energies, direct our energies in the right way of living. Like I said, right way of being doesn't just mean to follow the laws of the land, because sometimes the laws of the land is cruel. It's cruel. Go to North Korea and tell me that's not cruel. You say one word, one wrong thing, you and your 3 generations are locked up and treated worse than anything. And I'm not trying to get political here, please. I'm not. But tell me it was not wrong for people like Stalin killed 9 million of his people. But don't you dare speak up against the leader. That is wrong. That is not right living. So sometimes the laws of the land are not right. So here we are to guide us to right living, to find sanctuary in the tranquility and peace of Goddess him herself, the root of all happiness and the source of true bliss. So we see that mantra of what she stands for. The song of the 3 wisdoms. So the Gayatri is a name initially that was given to the meter of the Veda, the Rig Veda, consisting of 24 syllables. So it's a 24 syllables, but then there's a longer one, which it's longer, so. But the one I was just talking about is the 24 syllable. The Gayatri Mantra can illuminate the mind and bring some peace in an unpeaceful world. She is the blissful mother, but she will act as a warrior when she needs to. She has the power, Kali. Kali is within, it's also within Gayatri. Do not think Gayatri is a pushover because what you see here. All because she does not have her hair wild and blood and her face smeared with blood and wearing skulls. Do not think for one instant she cannot defend herself or defend you. She can with just a word. She can remove it and give you peace of mind while she's doing it. She's being the nurturing mother to you while she is removing it. Cleaning up the area like a vacuum cleaner does. She is Gayatri is the immanent and transcendent divine. So we see, O thou existence, absolute creator of the 3 dimensions, the 3 worlds. We contemplate upon thy divine light. May the divine stimulate our intellect and bestow upon us true knowledge. And the simpler, O Divine Mother, our hearts are filled with darkness. Please make this darkness. Please make this darkness distant from us. And promote light, illumination, spirituality within us. So she increases learning power. She increases prosperity, concentration. She gives power, peace, bliss, illumination, the spiritual road. She brings you to the divine, and know that the divine is within you. The divine is, we don't need to look, I mean, we can look for divine a million miles away if you would like to. But the divine is within ourselves. It strengthens and improves our mental condition. Good when during anxiety attacks and rhythmic patterns. And it can improve the life within you. Trust me, before I can get my cat medical help, I saw my cat improve with this mantra. I thought I was going to lose him. I don't want him to die yet. I'm not ready for him to die. So let's go see Shadow before I sign off, because I've been talking for over an hour. And there's so much to Gayatri. Let me go. Let's go visit Shadow. Let's go visit Shadow Man. Let's go visit Shadow. He's our Shadow Man. Hi. And his favorite song, and I'm going to sing it. The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Up came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Reminds me of the Gayatri Mantra. We're the itsy bitsy spider climbing up that goal that we want to achieve. But then the storms of life and the spiritual storms comes and washes us out, right? But for every stormy weather, we know that there will be a sunny weather. And we know that there will be stormy days and shitty days. And we know there will be good days and glorious days. But through the glory of Gayatri, right, Shadow? Yes. That's my voice for him. Is that like the sun, will dry up all the rain and all our sorrows and all our problems, so that the itsy bitsy spider can climb up the spout again. That's white Shadow, because if we don't succeed the first time, we try and we try again, right? Until we succeed and we get to that goal. And when we see the spider is not going up, I mean, it's not going down, it's going up, right? Yeah. Because it's harder to go up steps, right? Usually it's harder when you're going up a flight of steps, but it's easier to go down, right? But with the divine and with our will, we can rise above. Wow, you really put a spiritual slant to this Bitsy Bitsy Spider, my favorite song. Yeah, he loves that song. And let's go visit the other cats before I sign off. I know, you guys are laughing at me, the Itsy Bitsy Spider, Lady Bust, the little boo. Oh, whatever. She doesn't want to be bothered. And let me go see where the other ones are. There he is. So, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this long and putting up with the Itsy Bitsy Spider song. And just as for me, do me a favor. When you watch this video, the only thing I want from you, I don't want your money. I'm not rich. I don't want your jewels. I just want you to say some spells or prayers or mantras for Shadow. Shadow is a tabby mixed with Siamese. He's a Siamese mixed tabby. He's 17 and a half years old, and he was born in July of 2004. I had him since he was 8 weeks old. Shadow. Oh, he's purring. Oh my God. He knows we're talking about him. So, as you know, as a favor to me for me doing this whole video, please just say some good intentions, some good energy, send some good love towards his way. Look at him, and just maybe say a Gayatri Mantra, or say a mantra of healing, or do a little prayer session, or light some candles, or send some good wishes to him. And thank you so much for watching. And let's go back to the Gayatri. Thank you so much in advance for any energy that you can send to Shadow, that he heals and gets better, and that the antibiotics work. And as always, thank you and blessed be. Thank you for watching.